Chapter 12, The Family's New Favorite. Amelia noticed the change long before anyone else did. At first, it was subtle. Almost harmless. The kind of thing a person could easily dismiss. A compliment here. A casual mention there. An invitation. A smile. Nothing significant on its own. Yet when combined, they formed a pattern. And patterns were something Amelia had always been exceptionally good at recognizing. Unfortunately, this was one pattern she wished she hadn't noticed. It began with Victoria Sinclair. For years, Ethan's mother had maintained a polite but distant relationship with Amelia. She was never openly cruel. Never openly welcoming either. Victoria treated Amelia like an outsider who happened to marry into the family. Nothing more. Then suddenly, Victoria couldn't stop talking about Vanessa. The first time it happened was during a family dinner. Ethan tells me Vanessa reorganized the entire executive scheduling system. Victoria sounded impressed. Genuinely impressed. Across the table, Ethan nodded. She did. Remarkable, Sophia laughed. Mom talks about Vanessa more than she talks about her own children these days. Victoria ignored the comment. Instead, she continued. Competent young women are rare. Amelia quietly sipped her tea. Not saying a word, but she noticed. Because in 7 years of marriage, Victoria had never once described her that way. Not once. Over the following weeks, the mentions increased. Vanessa handled the investor issue beautifully. Vanessa helped coordinate the charity gala. Vanessa has such excellent instincts. Vanessa works incredibly hard. Every family gathering included her name somehow. At first, Amelia found it mildly amusing. Then mildly irritating, then something else. Something she didn't want to acknowledge. One evening, she finally asked Ethan about it. Does your mother always talk about Vanessa now? Ethan looked up from his laptop. What? Vanessa. What about her? Amelia hesitated. Because saying it out loud suddenly sounded ridiculous. Nothing? Ethan smiled. You're jealous. Amelia immediately frowned. I am not. You are. I absolutely am not, Ethan laughed. The sound was warm. Affectionate? Playful? Which somehow made it worse. Amelia. He closed his laptop. My mother likes Vanessa because Vanessa works for me. That's all. That's all. His confidence was reassuring. Unfortunately, reassurance and reality aren't always the same thing. A month later, Victoria hosted her annual charity luncheon. An exclusive event attended by socialites, politicians, and wealthy business families. Naturally, Amelia attended. As Ethan's wife, her presence was expected. What she didn't expect was finding Vanessa there. Not as an employee. As a guest. Amelia stared for a moment. Surprised. Across the room, Victoria and Vanessa laughed together like old friends. Sophia stood nearby. Even Richard Sinclair appeared engaged in conversation. The sight felt strangely surreal. For years, Amelia had struggled to earn their approval. Vanessa had earned it within months. Interesting. Amelia turned. Sophia stood beside her holding a glass of champagne. What? Sophia smirked. You're watching Vanessa. I'm observing. That's what spies say. Amelia rolled her eyes. Sophia's smile faded slightly. Then she lowered her voice. You know Mom adores her. I noticed. Honestly, it's weird. That surprised Amelia. Why? Sophia shrugged. Mom usually dislikes everyone. A laugh escaped Amelia before she could stop it. That's true. For a moment, they watched Victoria and Vanessa together. Then Sophia said something unexpected. You know what the difference is? What? Vanessa never challenges them. Amelia frowned. What do you mean? Sophia took a sip of champagne. Mom likes people who agree with her. The statement lingered. Because deep down, Amelia knew it was true. She had spent years politely disagreeing with Victoria. Questioning ideas. Offering alternative perspectives. Thinking independently. Vanessa, on the other hand, remained respectful. agreeable, diplomatic. Everything Victoria preferred. Later that afternoon, Amelia found herself alone with Richard Sinclair. A rare occurrence. The older man usually kept conversations brief, professional, detached. Today seemed no different. "You've been quiet." Amelia nearly looked behind her. "I have." Richard nodded. Then surprised her again. "Victoria likes Vanessa." The statement came out of nowhere. Amelia blinked. "Apparently." Richard almost smiled. "Almost?" "Your mother-in-law enjoys collecting people." That wasn't what Amelia expected. Collecting people. People she finds useful. The bluntness caught her off guard. Richard sighed. "Don't take it personally, easier said than done." For years, Amelia had tried to earn acceptance. Now another woman received it effortlessly, not because she wanted approval, but because rejection becomes exhausting after enough years. Meanwhile, Ethan remained completely oblivious. The entire situation seemed harmless to him. His mother liked Vanessa. Good. His secretary got along with his family. Also good. Everyone seemed happy. What exactly was the problem? That evening, he unknowingly stepped into a trap. A conversational trap. Created by Sophia. One she couldn't resist. The family had gathered for dinner. Conversation flowed normally, then Sophia casually asked, "So Ethan?" Ethan looked up. "Yeah? If you weren't married to Amelia." Immediately, Amelia groaned. "Sophia? What? No." Sophia ignored her. Ethan narrowed his eyes suspiciously. "What?" Sophia grinned. "Would you date Vanessa?" The dining room fell silent. Completely silent. Even the servants froze. Victoria looked interested. Far too interested. Amelia wanted to disappear. Ethan looked horrified. Then immediately answered. "No." The response came so quickly nobody doubted it. Not for a second. Sophia blinked. "That fast?" "Obviously." "Why?" Ethan looked genuinely confused. "Because I'm married." Sophia rolled her eyes. "That's not the question." "It is the answer." The table fell silent again. Then Ethan added, "There is no version of my life where I choose someone else over Amelia." This time, even Amelia wasn't prepared. Heat rushed to her cheeks. Sophia made exaggerated gagging sounds. Victoria sighed dramatically. Richard focused on his meal, yet despite the embarrassment, Amelia's heart felt lighter. Because Ethan meant every word. Unfortunately, sincerity doesn't stop future problems. It only makes them more painful when they arrive. Later that night, Vanessa sat alone in her apartment. A gift basket rested on her kitchen counter. Courtesy of Victoria Sinclair. Inside were luxury chocolates, wine, and a handwritten note thanking her for her hard work. Vanessa stared at it thoughtfully. Then sighed. The attention made her uncomfortable. Not because she disliked Victoria. Because she understood something Victoria didn't. The Sinclair family saw only what they wanted to see. They saw competence. Charm? Professionalism. They saw a hardworking secretary. What they didn't see was the loneliness inside their own daughter-in-law, the sacrifices Amelia made, the countless contributions nobody acknowledged. Vanessa had begun noticing those things. And strangely enough, the more she learned about Amelia, the more she respected her. Which made everything increasingly complicated. The following weekend, Amelia and Ethan spent a rare evening alone. No work. No meetings. No interruptions. Just the two of them. As they sat together on the balcony, Ethan rested his head against hers. Comfortable. Peaceful. Happy? "You're thinking again." Amelia smiled. "How do you always know? You get that wrinkle." His thumb brushed her forehead. The same gesture from years ago. Back when they were students. Back when life was simpler. Amelia laughed softly. Then looked out at the city lights. She wanted to tell him. About how it felt watching his family embrace another woman so easily. About how years of rejection still hurt. About how invisible she sometimes felt. Instead, she remained silent. Because she didn't want to create problems. Didn't want to sound insecure. Didn't want to seem jealous. And so she said nothing. A decision she would later regret. Because some wounds don't heal when ignored. They grow. Quietly? Patiently. Waiting for the right moment to break open. And somewhere deep inside the Sinclair family, a dangerous comparison had already begun. The daughter-in-law they never wanted. And the woman rapidly becoming their favorite. A comparison that would eventually change everything.